Girl, you've learned that people-pleasing doesn't work. You have a purpose, a plan to achieve, and a point time for your passion projects. You finally value your thoughts and ideas. Now you're putting them into action. Mom guilt is in a box where it belongs. You care for those who need you completely, except that you've made yourself a priority too. Being creative and focused helps you get your zest for life. You, my friend, you think enriched. Hey, welcome to Think Enriched. I'm your host, Amy Robles. So glad to have you back with us. We're getting started on where you are in your business, what's working, what you can do to improve. Now, today may be the very most important episode of the show up to this point. We're going to answer the question, who is going to buy your product or service? Once you have that figured out, that's going to fine-tune how you're going to promote it. That's going to fine-tune the way that you're going to speak to your audience. You have to have that direct connection and know your audience, know your target market, know your customer, so they don't just like your product, that they are just so perfectly delighted. Oh my word. And they just get giddy when they talk about you and they can't get enough and they just become your super fans and they're telling their friends, oh my gosh, you have to do this. You have to try this. You see people when they get so lit up, and that is what you want. You don't have to have millions of customers to have a very successful business. But once you have a few of those perfectly delighted customers who love what you're doing, then they can help you promote your business and they don't even realize they're doing it. They're just so happy with what they've received, what they've learned from you, that they take that forward. Now, if you're listening while you're driving or you're on the treadmill or you're walking the dog, whatever's going on, I completely understand. I've created a worksheet for you to go through and think about, now, who's my customer? What do they really want? How can I connect with them? So you can go in the show notes, download that worksheet, and then you can go through this experience yourself. This is what helped me make sure that I was doing this properly and reaching out to my audience. Okay, we've got a lot to cover. Let's jump right in. Get that in your purse. Today's tool for Get That in Your Purse is one that I think I'm a little obsessed with. I had no idea how much I would love it. My family's been telling me about Project Life for years. I have 2 kits that I never touched. It was so much to do. It's getting the scrapbooking, and that's where I got in trouble last time with so many supplies and stuff, and it took forever to do these projects and figure it out. Here's what I love about Project Life. You have this phone full of all these pictures you've taken and all these places you've gone. How many times do you actually print those pictures out? How many times do you actually take those pictures and put them somewhere where somebody else just besides you scrolling through your phone can see them? Sure, you got them on Facebook, you got them on Instagram, but you're not really seeing them tangible in your home where your family can enjoy them. This is what Project Life does. They take those pictures, you just put the app on your phone. I've got a link in the show notes for it. And then it designs the pictures. You can lay them out in an 8x8 page or a 12x12 page. You can do cards, design all of these different components from them. So using Project Life, so we went and we had this fun family activity, and then I come home and you can pick out your borders and the kits and the design pieces. And so a kit is only, some of them are 99 cents, some of them are $1. So I've just been buying a kit here and a kit here, and I'll try this. And so I have this cute scrapbook page that has all the colors, which is so fun. And I know there's other companies that do something similar, but with Project Life, they have these journaling pages where you type in all the words and then you can put it in all the different fonts that you want and make it so personal and tell the story of what's happening in your life. I love it so much, and I just started really getting serious looking at it through the holidays last year, that in January I committed to doing Project 52. That is 1 page a week, just to record what is happening. There are so many different events going on in our life that it can get nuts. You can find pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, that was 6 months ago and I completely forgot about it. right? You know what I'm talking about. You've been there, where you just think, wow, that was such a fun day. Having those events on a page with what's happening and how things are going is so great. But the other part about it is when we have those days that are blah. We had a snow day on Monday here, so the kids weren't in school. Then the next day, it was too dangerous to get everyone on the roads, so they declared another snow day. But it wasn't really snow, and it was cold, and most of the snow had melted, but it was that icy rain, so it wasn't fun to play in outside. So we were inside all day coming up with little projects, and we did handwriting practice for a while, and then we read stories, and we just did as much as we could to keep my daughter engaged and having fun and not glued to the TV, right? And those kind of days, those special moments are things that I want to record so she can remember these are different things, and we didn't do anything special. We just had time together. And that's what's so amazing. I have that link in the show notes. It is one of those affiliate links. So if you order through that link, I get a few bucks from that. And I appreciate your order, and thank you for supporting me through the show by actually trying out Project Life. This is a tool that I think you will love. Share your photos, share your design pages, what you come up with on Instagram. Be sure to tag me. I'm at It's Amy Robles. Super easy, and I'd love to see what you come up with. All right, girl, get that in your purse. Speak the lingo. This term on Speak the Lingo is one of the most fascinating things, in my opinion, about business. You need to understand the difference between your demographic and your psychographic. Terms we don't use very often. Let's talk about it. Demographics are what marketing companies, marketing agencies tell their shareholders and business owners and the advertising department. Look, we're going after this person, some sort of statistical data, their shared characteristics about their age or their income, gender, their education, ethnic background, religion, those kind of you can just chunk a bunch of the market into pieces. That's the first component. Demographics comes from the word demo, meaning people, and graphics means some way to put it on a chart. I did some research just trying to find out. These are interesting words. Where did they come from? So the census board goes through and takes an accounting. We have 4% of this background and 16% of this background, just so they can put it on a chart so people can use that information wisely. That's what a demographic is. A psychographic, this is such an interesting word, is dealing with the mind, the attitude, the thoughts by psyche, the psycho, and then the graphics, how they can chart it. So this is according to your attitudes and your tastes, maybe the way you think. It's about how you perceive and your interpretation of information and what you choose to do with that. Those are the psychographics. So as a business owner, we're going to jump into this a little bit later, you really want to understand the demographics of your audience and the psychographics. And when you're able to use those terms fluidly and you're able to talk and speak the lingo, look, we're looking at the demographics of this audience, but I'm really interested in finding out more about the psychographics. And you could say that to a marketing company. You could say that to a big business owner. They're going to go, whoa, she really gets it. You know what you're talking about. Let's dive into that. Let's discover what's best for your audience. That, my dear, is why we use the Speak the Lingo portion of the show, is so you can actually discuss, feel very confident in the way you're using the terms, and can clearly get your point across by speaking the right way. Today's Speak the Lingo terms, demographics and psychographics.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Habits of excellence. Today's habits of excellence is one that seems so stinking simple, but is one that has just freed up so much of my brain space and has allowed me to really jump in and give 100% of my focus to what I need to work on at one specific point in time. The habit of excellence I'm talking about is don't try to remember everything. Set your reminders. Now, you have so many things going on in your life. You're thinking about what's happening at work. You're thinking about what's happening at home. You're thinking about, oh my gosh, what are we going to have for dinner? You're thinking about all of the different things you've got to do. The best thing that has worked for me is just setting reminders. So my sweet family is going through some challenges, and I really want to make sure that my cousin, who knows how much I just love her, my heart is with her, I'm supporting her, and I wanted to make sure that I reminded her every single day for a certain chunk of time. And so what I did is set a reminder every day at lunchtime, send a text. And I just have that on repeat, and I have it for this time frame. And at first I thought, man, that makes me really insensitive that I'm putting this as a reminder. And actually, it's completely the opposite. She's so important to me that I want to make sure that she knows I'm with her, I'm thinking about her, sending good thoughts, all of that very, very personal, heartfelt touch. And I'm just using a digital component to remind me of that. Another way I've been using reminders is I need to call and make sure that I get this one thing arranged. We had to rearrange our dentist appointment 3 different times, and these are just regular things of life. I would think about it usually right at 6 o'clock when I was making dinner, or right at 6 in the morning as I was starting my day. And so I would miss making that call 2, 3, 4 days in a row. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So I just sent another reminder to myself on my phone. So I sent myself a reminder. So at 9 o'clock when they open, I'll be the first call right then. And it's that easy. I make a list for those big important things when I need to take some time to really think about the project. But these little things that I just need to be done and just need, oh, okay, now it's time. One of the best ways that the reminder has helped me is every Sunday, our family's sitting down. We've had a great week. It's Sunday afternoon, and my reminder pops up that says, hey, complete project 52. You've committed. Do this for your family. Usually, my family's sitting there, we're watching a movie or enjoying just some relaxing family time. That's the perfect time. I can just be putting the pages together, paying attention to the movie, and I'm not taking away from my family. I'm still paying attention, but I just have that reminder for that. There's a lot of different tiny tasks that really overload our brain, and there's so much that we have to keep track of that if we're not careful, all of these little tiny things can really stress us out. I'm just amazed by dumping out all of the thoughts, all of those things, all of those little tiny tasks running through my brain, getting them on my phone, so then it just becomes like clockwork. It has made me much more effective. This week's habit of excellence to work on: don't try to remember every single thing. Set your reminders. All right, this is exciting. We're going to talk about how to find your perfectly delighted customer. And I know that's a very big concept. And the reason I feel so confident talking about that is Kevin Kelly in 2008 wrote 1,000 True Fans. And it really was the catalyst to spark a lot of people going into the online marketing world, going in to create these businesses, because they were looking over the long term and not just what's happening in the next 90 days. Here's the thing. I will put this article in the show notes so you can see and get the full information. I just want to give you a few highlights. If you have 1,000 true fans, and not just people that like your work, but that they love your work, and for example, the true fan just loves to come and have you sign at the book signing, right? They love every single thing you produce. They just are crazy about your work. In your own location, there can be 1,000 people just like the market that you're looking at. So we're not even talking out of state. We're not even talking global business. I'm just trying to give you a picture of what can happen in the area around you. Okay? 1,000 people. And say every one of those people, you sold a $25 product. And $25 people may spend without even thinking about it. But that gives you an extra $25,000 in one calendar year. But that's just the beginning. The thing is, once a person buys a $25 product, then they feel they've built that trust. They really like your work. They're crazy about how good it makes them feel or what it is or whatever you represent, that they feel so much more comfortable that 6 months down the road, a month down the road, they decide to buy a $49 product. And from that $49 product, they got so much value, they learned a lot, they applied it to their lives, they put things in perspective, that now they feel comfortable that the next time you offer a product at a higher price point, that they're very happy to spend on a $79 product or a $125 product. This is all called building your sales funnel. Some people call it the sales funnel. Some people call it the sales pipeline. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just giving you big picture on why it's so important to connect with your perfectly delighted customer. So let's first, I have a worksheet all ready for you to go through in the show notes. You can just download that and then you can go ahead and later on you can sit down with the episode and just walk through it. Okay, we're going to start with the demographics. First of all, think about your customer's age range. Is it 18 to 25? Is it 18 to 75? The more specific you are, the better it is for you. Next, look at the income range that you're working with. Are you hoping to have a higher income bracket that is somewhere that you can have higher priced offerings? Or are you looking in a lower price bracket to offer more of a variety of products? These are questions only you can answer. What about their marital status? Does that even matter to your business? What about their level of education? So these are just the beginning of the demographic questions that a lot of companies ask. And then you want to consider the other background details that you want to focus on. Maybe you really work well with people of a certain descent. I know there's a lot of websites that are just for Mexican cuisine. And it doesn't mean you have to be Mexican. It means you enjoy Mexican food. I still struggle making tamales. I know I should have it down by now, but I'm not there yet. So that's high level. That's the demographics. A lot of companies have that. This is their demographic, especially when radio stations, you go to the grocery store now, and the songs that are playing in the grocery store are songs you listened to 20 years ago. That's because you have now aged to their perfect age range, which is a woman 34 to 40. They want you to stay in the grocery store as long as possible. There's so much research done on the demographics. But we want to go deeper. Let's look at the psychographics. We talked about that earlier. Tell me now about your customer's energy level. I know that could mean a lot of different things. Are they super always on the go, super fitness oriented? Are they a little more chill? And Friday night is, I just want to watch Netflix and kick back for a few minutes. That's something you need to decide. That's something you need to know who they are and how they spend their time. Is your customer a self-starter or are they more of a follower? Now, these are very specific questions. I know I'm asking, are you looking for an introvert or an extrovert? How does that affect your business model? The reason I'm asking that is because the way you craft your message, the words that you say, the message that you give, the impression, the colors, the choices, all of that will come through on your branding, on how you're actually presenting your overall business. Now think of 3 qualities that stand out about your ideal customer. People just automatically know. Are they super friendly? Are they so introverted that all they want to do is sit at the computer? Some of those people that sit at the computer are very high spenders and love to make purchases. They just don't want to talk to you about it. And if you know your customer, you can write as much information as possible and create that connection that they feel like, oh my word, that person has read my mind. Now tell me one more thing about the psychographics of this person. Are they socially connected? That means, are they online? Where are they connecting with other people? What is their main source of conversation and interaction with others? That's a high-level example of the psychographics. But now that's a really good start. We want to go deeper. We want to know more about this person. Where does your ideal customer shop? What are 5 stores they visit regularly? Are they Target Costco people and they are there at least once, twice a week? Or are they more high-end level rather than daily groceries? Is your customer a morning person or a night person? Now, why would that matter? Because the whole message that you're sharing with your customer, then they connect with that. What social media sites do they visit regularly? How often do they go to those sites? If it's a person that's on Facebook and they're there once every couple weeks, that's a very, very different conversation than you're going to have with a person who's on Facebook every 2.5 hours. You see the difference there? That's just going to make such an incredible difference. Now, what is a struggle that they are really working through right now? Or if that's kind of too personal, you're not sure exactly, what is a problem that your product or your service can solve for that person? I can tell there's words going through your mind. You're thinking things. Go ahead and you're just going to listen to this exercise. You're going to go through and write every single thing that comes down. What does this problem or this struggle feel like to overcome? Think of those emotional words. Think of those inner challenge words. Think of those. Is it frustration because they don't get out and just have some fun? Is it absolute misery because they just haven't connected with someone? Is it they're just struggling to keep up with the housework, the day-to-day routine? What are the words that come to mind? And where does the person, your ideal customer, usually get stuck in this process? Do they start out cleaning the house and then they look at the rest of the house and go, whoa, this is never going to happen? Or are they so good with everything, the kitchen's spotless, everything's organized, but they can't stick with the laundry? What is it that's that missing piece? Then you're going to look at what can you help them to solve the problem or fix the struggle? And how will you do that? These are the beginning components, the beginning steps to craft your message, to really work with your people so they are so delighted with you. You find your 1,000 true fans and they want to see and they want to follow your work over and over and over again. Now, I know I've given you a lot to think about. Again, you can download the worksheet, go through, write everything that comes to mind. If you have any questions, you want to workshop it, talk it out, go ahead and click on that link and we'll schedule some time and really go from there and build your business. This is so exciting. Once you have that first true fan and they love your work and they can't help telling other people about your work or your product, all of a sudden, everything in business seems to change. All of the dreams, the hard work, everything finally is validated and you are on your way. That's what I want for you. Go ahead and download the worksheet and get started on finding your perfectly delighted customer. All right, what an exercise today. We've gone through so much content. I'm really excited to see how you are progressing and creating something that you're so crazy proud of and your customers can also be crazy proud of. You know, I love hearing your stories of how your own life is being enriched, of how you're able to enrich the lives of others. That's what all of this is about. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you have a great week. Any questions, you just want to talk, shoot me an email at amy@thinkandrich.com. Talk to you soon.